Hi everybody, in this video we are going to talk about what causes depression. I see this time and time again in the holistic community. If something goes wrong, they blame it on the gut. You got to understand that everything in your body is controlled by that little thing between your ears, the brain, especially with a symptom like depression. I want to share with you what causes depression and exactly what you need to do to fix depression. And this is the Learning G&M website right here, where I suggest you go to educate yourself about German new medicine. There you really don't have many other resources, but Dr. Hammer, he worked at a psychiatric hospital, and he got to see all the colors of the rainbow of crazy. And everyone that had everyone that had depression, they were going to have a Hammer focus on this part of on the right side of their temporal lobe. 100% of the time, not 50% of the time, not 25% of the time, like these lab studies are coming up with. Oh, 25% of the time, change the way you. No, this is what happens 100% of the time. 100% of the time, somebody with depression will have a Hammer focus on this side of the brain. Now, what causes a Hammer focus to appear on the right side of the brain? Now, there's a few things that matter, like our gender, our hormone status, and our handedness. But primarily, what we want to be looking at and where most of the action is involved is in the conflict type itself. And so what I see a lot of, because I deal with digestive issues, is here, this brain relay right here. A territorial anger if you are a male, or an identity conflict if you are a female. And your hormone status, if you're a man or if you're a woman, your hormone status can change a lot. There's a lot of things that can affect your hormone status. But for a man, it's usually a territorial anger, and for a female, it could be either or, depending on your hormone status at the time. So on this brain relay, we have like acid reflux. Someone could also have the rectum surface mucosa, so they could have hemorrhoids and stuff like that. So you might notice when your anal fissure is bad, your depression might be bad. Or when your heartburn is bad, your depression will be bad. And it's because when you're conflict active, the more conflict active you are, the more depressed you will be. And this makes perfect sense from like a biological survival point of view. It's a very beautiful design. So we have right-handers and we have left-handers. And they're going to experience like the same type of conflict shock differently. So you want that in a tribe. So one half of the tribe is going to be depressed and the other half is going to be manic. This is the manic side here. This has nothing to do with leaky gut whatsoever. The leaky gut theory is so bad, like it needs to be retired. It needs to be put to sleep. It is proven not to work. Leaky gut makes zero sense. It does not. It's not right. That's what it is. This is 100% right 100% of the time. Everyone who's depressed is going to have a Hammer focus on this side of the brain. So for example, how do we fix? So if someone's depressed, how do we fix this? We have to identify what happens right before we get depressed. Because right before we get depressed, this Hammer focus is less active. Depending on your mental state at the time, your Hammer focus is going to be less, like you're not, the more conflict active you are, the more depressed you will feel. So for example, let's say this is brought on by a territorial anger. My neighbor cut down my cherry tree. I'm angry that my neighbor cut down my cherry tree, territorial anger, and I'm a right-handed male. This is going to make me depressed. I can't believe he cut down my cherry tree. that my grandfather planted that, and I'm just going to go lie in bed and cry about it and wait until the conflict kind of blows over. Me, I'm a left-handed male, so I turn into a crazy person. I become manic. I get in the guy's face. How could you do such a thing? You're buying me a new tree right now. What the hell's wrong with you? That's how a left-handed male deals with it, because it's going on this side of the brain. But so a right-handed female or a left-handed female, they're going to get it over here, and they're going to feel depressed. Don't get don't get hung up on all the technicals. This took me a while to understand. What you need to understand is what you need to track is what happens. What kind of situations make me depressed? Because they're going to be conflict relapses. You need to convince yourself that these types of situations are safe. Oh, every time I see my neighbor, I get depressed because I see him and I think about how he cut down my grandpa's cherry tree. How can we interpret this as safe? You can use Christianity to do this. You could talk to the neighbor and resolve the conflict. View it differently. There's a million different ways to view the situation as safe, but you actually have to invest time on making, sit down at a coffee shop for an hour, for once a week for a month, pray about it for a month, spend some time trying to neutralize this emotional trigger that you might have. We have these are the bronchial mucosa. Right here's the bronchial mucosa. That's what's causing fake vid-19, and I'm not super familiar with these other ones right here, but I'm very familiar with the brain relays here because I get a lot of students that have issues like that. But this is part of the newest part of the brain, the temporal lobes, so it has to deal with social contracts. And these types of conflicts, it just makes sense that they affect our personality the most. And remember, this is 100% verified by Dr. Hammer. And they've had universities and other established, medical places verified this as well. So guys, your depression is not caused by leaky gut. It could have a strong correlation with your mania and depression could have a strong correlation with your hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and heartburn, because they're part of the same program. That's not the right way to put it, but like they respond to one another. So that's what you need to look for. What makes me depressed, and how do I neutralize this? Not how do I seal my gut and become more crazy and become more afraid of energy and nutrients. It's not gonna work. The more fear you bring into your life, the more issues you're going to have in the long run. Erase the holistic fear mindset from your brain. It is not serving you. I know some of you guys have been doing this for 5 years, 10 years. Aren't you just sick of it? Aren't you just sick of worrying about what energy and nutrients you put into your mouth? Just enjoy life. Enjoy the food that you're eating. Okay? It is safe. It is okay to eat normal foods again. You don't have to have OCD over everything that goes into your mouth. I mean, just look at what a stray dog eats or a stray cat eats, and they have, they're fine. Like what most dogs and cats, they're fine. You can do this too. You don't have to eat stray dog food, but you can eat like a normal human being, and eat these air quote junk foods, unorganic foods, and you can be okay. Throw out the leaky gut theory, guys. But depression is a very difficult condition to deal with. I mean, it pretty much cripples you from a mental aspect. I was lucky to be a left-handed male, and I have mania when I am faced with certain conflicts, and so that pushes me it fuels me to actively fix what the problem is. But to fix your depression, you need to figure out what is making you depressed and to neutralize that trigger by convincing yourself that the thing is safe. All right, guys, that's all I got for the day. We are close to selling out on seats for our program, and the ebook is almost ready. The book is almost ready. I made the workbook its own standalone product. That is about ready to go on the market for you guys. And yeah, guys, I can't wait to help you get better and enjoy. Let me know down in the comments below what types of videos you'd like to see me make, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.